This is my interview with William. So first, a little bit about William. He's happily married with a wife and 2 kids, but at the age of 32, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and because of this disease, he's in a wheelchair. He has a bachelor's in computer science and currently works as a lab manager, mostly maintaining computers and installing software. Some of his interests include spending time with his family, reading a good book, good jokes, video games, almost anything technology related, and one thing he really likes to do is to race his kids in his electronic wheelchair. If you don't know what multiple sclerosis is, it involves an immune-mediated process where the body's immune system attacks the central nervous system, which makes up the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves, but it can cause problems with vision, balance, and muscle control. He considers this typical day to be just like any other working person. He wakes up, goes to work, comes home for some family time, and repeats. The only exception would be that certain things take a little bit longer or require a little bit more effort. For example, getting out of bed can be quite difficult because he doesn't have the strength or energy to lift himself out of bed. He'll often need assistance with that. Some of the challenges that he faces, he's almost always tired. One of the big ones is getting around. When he was first diagnosed, walkers were a little bit too slow for him. He doesn't really care for ramps because they're often inconvenient, kind of out of the way. And he can't drive himself places, so if it's ever snowing, his wife will have to drive him to work. But another challenge that he faces is people will see the wheelchair instead of him. People noticeably treat him differently, and that can be quite frustrating for him. Some of the assistive technologies that he's used since he's been diagnosed, he's used a cane, crutches, walker, wheelchair. He is currently using an electronic wheelchair, which he fondly nicknames the Chariot, and he uses a wheelchair lift that attaches to his car so they can easily take his wheelchair wherever they go. One of the new assistive technologies that I looked into was called the Scalevo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it functions a lot like a Segway. It can go upstairs and actually goes up the stairs backwards. It features a backwards cam that you see in a lot of cars these days. The nice thing about it is it's estimated to be around the cost of a regular electronic wheelchair. Although electronic wheelchairs can vary in price quite a bit, they average usually somewhere in between $5,000 and $10,000, but can be even more expensive. He said he would be interested in it because he's not particularly fond of ramps, although he would definitely have to take into consideration the cost and also the battery life, because if he can't go very far or has a limited range, that can be very, very frustrating. And that's my interview.